Hey, everybody, it's Alex Youngblood. I am back with another guest interview for Wholesaling Houses Full Time. I've got Rick Ginn and Zach Ginn with me on either side, right? So that's pretty awesome to have you guys, a father and son team. That's not something that happens very often. And it's actually something that I'm really looking forward to. So obviously, I'm getting older. I'm 38 years old. I've got a 10-year-old son. And hopefully one day he will be able to do what you guys are doing, which is absolutely amazing. So this is kind of like a double interview that we've got going here.
Right.
All right, I'm going to adjust something here. Oh, I think I'm okay with the camera. So you guys, as you guys are coming on, just let us know what market you're in, where you're at, and all that good stuff. And I'm also going to make sure that we are going live within the group itself. I know we're on the main page. But go ahead and Rick, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in real estate? Were you in real estate your whole life, or what were you doing before that, and what got you into it?
Because it sounded like I bounced out there. You hear me?
Yeah, I've got you now.
Okay. I came from go to college, get a good job. I actually worked for a company in Florida for 11 years, and at age 33, I decided it wasn't my path anymore. I got a mentor, probably not the best one at the time, in 2004, and got going full time, and just got really good. As you know, back then we didn't have wholesaling houses full time. There wasn't a lot of like information. It was I think I had Ron LeGrand.
Yeah, he's the big daddy.
Read some key. But it was definitely a secret kept. And I just read every book, took a bunch of courses, and we actually went to seminars back then. You'd travel around the country. And I rehabbed a couple houses, and then I decided I didn't want to do the corporate thing anymore. And so for 6 months, I pounded away. I followed a system, and I did very well. And that's kind of my story. I haven't looked back. I've been doing this 15 years. So when I started, I was 3 or 4 years old.
Yeah, nice. So very nice.
So my why for doing is working 80 hours a week in a corporate job, and I watched my bosses get fired, transferred, and I just made a conscious decision. There's got to be a better way. So I had the ability. I also have a daughter. Her name's Leah. I'll give her a shout out. And she's 17, and she's in her high school year. And so I grew up my entire life with me, always there at every school play, every sporting event. And I just decided I was going to be present until I can get my kids on their own. And that was my big why for real estate, and that's always why I've done so well in it. And it makes a huge impact on your relationship with your family, with your wife. It's huge.
Oh, it's monstrous, right? As far as being present.
So when you and me started, there wasn't a lot of information to go on. So you really had to have a belief system. And so Zach he saw me all around it. He grew up playing every sports and doing everything, and he got competitive in wrestling in high school, and I was able to spend every minute, go to every event he had. And we came to the decision of college, and I was kind of confused and perplexed with my kids, like I think we all are. So we had long discussions that with you, and Well, here we are. He's 19 now, and he's going to tell you what he's doing and what he's doing. And I love this business. Like, not a whole lot's changed. The technology's changed. The information is much more fluent. And I think I started with your wholesaling houses full time. I think it was back in 2009 or 10.
Yeah, that's about when we started.
Yeah,
Around that
and it
time
was
right
it was a small group, and we've kind of been through the circle. And man, it's God, I wish I had this when I started. And I can tell you right now, if you guys are thinking about getting started, and I'm gonna let Zach share his story with you. I didn't make him do real estate. A lot of people are like, oh, he's got the gold spoon in his mouth. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was brutally tough on him, and Zach actually worked at a local grocery store for how long, Zach?
4 years.
How many years?
4.
Yeah.
4
Yeah,
years.
and
Grocery
yeah,
store.
so we kind of, he's the guy who had to carry the bags of salt. In Florida, we use salt to clean our well water, not to melt the ice for clarification.
Oh, okay.
And he just came to me and said, Dad, I'm sick of this, man. Like, I don't want to be this. And he goes, you're always at home. You're always at every event. Like, how can I do is I handed him 2 real estate books, and I said, read these. You're serious about what you say. And I was concerned about shoving him into business. And he came back to me with more questions, and the questions turned into conversations, and the conversations turned into what he wanted in life and what he wanted to accomplish. And fast forward, here we are. We've been working together. God, it seems like forever, but I mean, he's only 19.
That's amazing.
That's where we're at. So it happened organically and naturally, even though he's my son. It is challenging to work with family because you're always talking about business. But he has a passion and he loves it. That's why he does so well in it. And I'll do this to the day I die. So I enjoy it. I enjoy everything you offer within the group. Or if I could go back in time and really have a site like this. And so Zach spends, I told him, and the first thing I did, I said, join Alex's site. You'll get a lot of information there. And he still to this day brings me questions. He goes, hey, look at this on Wholesaling Houses Full Time. Can you do this and stuff? And we talk about it, and I always try to provide on your site from value and but it's fun. You can reflect back, and now he's going to the point where he's reflecting after doing this a few years, maybe he shouldn't do that, or maybe I said, well, reach out to him and help him out, and that's the awesome part of the networking, and especially with Facebook. So
yeah.
That's it. So I've been doing this 15 years. I've created some products. I've helped some people out. I will end with this. In the last 2 years, I really haven't kind of done anything because I have made an enormous investment in Zach and his development. And man, if you can teach your kids to get in the business and be self-sufficient, and not only just doing well and thriving. So Zach's actually running my company right now. It's why I'm out in my car. He's in the office. He's in what we call the war room over there.
In the war room.
Zach has 2 years trading experience. He's flipped a lot of deals, and he is now my COO, and he runs my business. And I don't let Zach be an acquisition manager because I was one for 10 years.
Okay.
And so he's learning how to run the business, and that's what we want to kind of talk about. So I want Zach to share with you how he got started, really cool story, and where he is 2 years progression. And, everybody kind of knows my story, but honestly, my son is probably my greatest accomplishment in real estate because now I have a master plan. I never meet with a buyer. I never meet with sellers. I just work on a game plan, and I can go on the internet and connect with people like you, which I really enjoy. So
well, that's absolutely amazing. And for you guys that are just joining us now, basically we're talking to Rick and Zach Ginn, a father and son team. And basically what he's telling us is how he has trained his 19-year-old son to run his company for him. So for you guys that are watching and you're like, well, I don't know if I could do this business, and I don't know, if this is possible and all this stuff. I mean, Zach right here started when he was 17 years old. Now, obviously, he had his father here to help him and help push him through it. But he's been doing it for 2 years. Rick has kind of stepped to the side a little bit, and Zach's the man. So if you guys are watching and you can really, this resonates with you and you're wanting to find a way to, whether it's your son, whether it's a family member, whether it's, whoever it is that you want somebody to be able to run your business for you so that you can step out of the way. If that's something that resonates with you, give us a thumbs up, give us a like, share this video. Let's try to get as many people as we possibly can to put eyeballs on this, because this is what it's all about. This is freedom, right? This is what we are truly searching for in everything that we do. If we're stuck behind a desk and we're worried about taking all the phone calls and we're worried about looking at all the properties and we're worried about all the little minutia that comes along with this business, we're never going to really truly experience that true freedom, because we're just it's all up in our head and we're all worried about things all the time. It's absolutely crazy, right? So Rick has shown his son how to run his company. And now also Zach, right? You're not probably caught up in the minutia and all that type of stuff. You are actually delegating and having other people do stuff, right?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So let's get to the main man of the hour here. This is Zach Ginn. He's only 19 years old, which is absolutely amazing. To have this information, to have this ability to do this is awesome, because a lot of people, right? And me myself included, I'm worried about my kids. Like, holy smokes, I got 4 kids and that's a lot of college to pay, right? So what if this would be the same exact scenario, the same exact situation, is that you can train your kids to do this business and then they don't have to worry about college. And I don't have to worry about college, right? Because that's, there's probably a statistic out there. I don't know what it is, but, like 99.9% of the statistics are wrong 99% of the time, right? So there's probably a statistic that most people, and in fact, if you're on here, just go ahead and comment. Are you doing what you went to college for? If you went to college, are you doing the degree that you got or doing the job that you got your degree in? And I'll be the first one to say, no, I am not. Now, Rick, did you go to college?
What year's in? I went for finance.
Oh, nice.
I always, but the education schedule didn't really help me. If I was going to redo it, I might have done psychology or something. But
yeah.
But no seller has ever asked me for my college degree yet.
Okay.
So Zach will share with you, but he's actually a full-time college student right now as well, too.
Oh, he's in college.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I didn't even know that. So are you doing this to pay for college? That's crazy.
Well, actually, so get back on everything. I got a full ride to the University of Florida.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's the reason I was thinking about it.
He's smarter than I am, by the way. That's why he works with me.
Yeah.
So, it's a lot of early mornings and late nights, but it's definitely worth it. And I'll be graduating in about 10 months, so I'm happy.
That's awesome. So what are you going to get a degree in?
It'd be in finance.
Oh, same thing, right?
Yeah.
So why did you decide to go to college if you have the ability to do what you're doing?
It was a full ride. College isn't that difficult for me. I'm not bragging or anything like that, but it's honestly about an extra hour or 2 a day for me. And
oh, wow.
And when I graduated high school, I actually got my AA degree. So I'm going to graduate college from point A to B in 14 months. And it seemed like a better risk than reward. I'm also getting paid to go to college. So I got a full ride, and they just give me money for dorms and stuff, and I'm home here. So I'm just getting that money too. So.
All right, well, let's talk about the good stuff, the real estate side of the business. Okay. What does a day in the life of Zach Ginn look like?
Definitely. So we start every morning with our whole company. We do like a daily team meeting just so we get on the same page with all of our employees and people. We have a marketing department. We have people in acquisitions, people helping us with transaction coordinating and disposition. So from point A to B, there's a lot of moving parts, and I just kind of help make it run smooth.
Okay. So what are the members of the team that you have right now? What does that look like? How big? How many people? And what roles do they fill?
I mean, I would call us a small operation when you look at these
Sure.
things, but with the amount of deals we're doing, we're definitely not a small operation. So with our marketing, we have people, data specialists that we know and we hire. They help us with our probates, direct mail, just pulling data, getting great leads. And also have those lower level employees, those guys in paying like $2 to put signs out for me, sweat equity, driving for dollars people. And I also consider other wholesalers that give me deals as marketing too. They're not employees, but I put them in my marketing category. Also, we have our acquisitions. So when I when I came back from college, I was kind of doing the acquisitions for my dad. And I was doing acquisitions, marketing, transaction coordinating all by myself. It was crazy. So
you got to do it all to learn it all, right? And then you can delegate from there. So when you talk about, you mentioned something about having a data person or specialist pulling data, pulling leads. Talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So in the beginning, we were actually pulling all the probate leads for ourselves. And if you see our PPS systems, we're amazing with that. We actually get to the probate a week or two before all the other wholesalers do. We just have special marketing tactics that we use. So we have people helping us pull the code violations. We have other websites we use for like the high equity, tax delinquency and stuff like that. But we usually use our data person for very specialized stuff. Pulling all the garage sales or FISBOs or something like that I just takes too much time for me to do myself.
Yeah. So what kind of marketing budget then are you guys working with all this data accumulation that you're putting out there? And about how many people are you marketing to? Is it a big broad list? Is it just smaller, or what does that look like?
Yeah, so we have lists where we just do heavy direct mail. And then we also have people.
Heavy direct mail. What do you mean by that?
We're doing direct mail to huge lists, someone like a high equity or a tax delinquency list. And then we're also having people cold call other specific leads, like maybe like a code violation list of a VA, cold call that. So we have a lot of marketing streams, and we bring that all to the acquisitions.
Okay.
We try everything. And
you try a little bit of everything?
Well, the problem is here's what I do. I'm a massive idea guy, and I go I try this, try that, and I'll give Zach a budget. And then I completely close my eyes and let him decide the outcome. Now, Zach's very good at looking at data, and, it's not my strong suit. So he'll go back and look at the response rate, how many appointments set, and we kind of, because if it was up to me, we'd spend $100,000 a month in marketing. But my old school way is, I would spend very, very, very little on marketing. But I taught Zach that marketing is an investment; it's not an expense. You can overmarket, and so what I do is he gives me broad overviews, and I look at stuff. I try not to look at it daily because that's always been my problem. So I'll look at reports weekly, biweekly, monthly, and then because sometimes as investors we kill ourselves. We'll spend $5-6 on like a direct mail campaign and look at it every day, and then on the 31st day, which doesn't register that month, you get a big deal and make 30-40 grand.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we got to do this all over again. And part of working with a team, emotions out of the numbers. So like once you get over, like marketing is not an expense, it's an investment. It doesn't always work out. We do a lot of cold calling. Sometimes it's highly profitable. Sometimes so Zach's main job is to filter the data and put practicality. And he spends a ton of time with the acquisition guys that go out and he'll also, he'll do the follow-up. And then with the data people, it's a different conversation with them. So we're constantly, if you've ever gotten in the probates, one county is easy, two's challenging. Once you get 4 or 5, it's a full-time job for someone to pull the data. So Zach takes the leads, gives them to the salespeople, and then they report back to him and follow up. We use Podio like kind of everybody else does.
So you mentioned you were cold calling. Do you have a cold calling
every position
in-house team, or are you outsourcing that to like the Philippines or something?
I'll take this one real quick. I've tried everything. So I'll give you a couple tips. In the beginning, I killed my staff cold calling, and I actually killed Zach cold calling when he was up in his dorm. He would literally cold call. How many?
Probably 2 hours a day.
So 2 hours a day in his dorm room with 4 other guys, and they're just like, Zach, how do you do this? And but I used to. I have an agency. I would recruit realtors that were aggressive. I recruited outside sales reps, brought them inside. And what I found out over really 3 years of doing this, it seems like the higher volume, like making 300 to 500 calls a day, it burns everybody out. And so I preach quality over quantity. So what we do is we've hired data specialists to pull like 30 to 50 highly targeted leads based on a preset of information that we've either purchased or had success for. And we spend time with those leads. No more mojo. Pick up the damn phone and call them, put them in the database, and we follow up. And we've had good success with it, but like any other campaign, you have to be very consistent with it.
So you're talking about the good old fat finger dialing.
Fat finger dialing, because I think Zach made probably 400,000 mojo dials himself and got amazing deals. And I remember saying to Zach when he was up in school, I don't want you to cold call anymore. You've proven to me. Let me teach you how to train people to do it. So he's going through all that now and working with people. And the biggest tip I can give you, if you want to bring in a family member, especially a son or a daughter, is, learn from your mistakes. I was there for 10 years because whenever I wanted to go on vacation, the phone didn't stop. I was stressed if a deal was going to close. Am I going to get funding? Did he sign the assignment agreement? And I know real estate. I can teach it to you. But let's do the business together. So I'm on the same journey as he is. I'm still learning every day. And I use outside consultants all the time to help fine-tune things.
ABL, that's what I say, man. Always be learning. ABL as well as ABC.
Yeah, so
always be closing.
So I'm a master at real estate. With like business, like Zach's great because he can decipher information and make a good decision. I'm like most other investors, like all in or like nothing. And if you're going to run a business, it has to be a steady machine.
Yes.
We're not producing widgets, but we are producing marketing that creates widgets, which are, buying and selling houses. So, that's it. So Zach's, he's running the company. And what I want, and if we have their permission, is I'd like Zach to kind of share a story actually when he decided to do real estate, actually exactly like how he got in this business, because it's a really funny story.
Absolutely.
Really
so
good. Go ahead, Zach.
So let's do this. Okay, so first you talked about your marketing, right? That's your first department that you've got, and then you've got acquisitions, right? So let's just go through those parts real quick, and then we'll get to his story. So you got marketing, and then you got your acquisitions, and we'll go through this fairly quickly. How many people? 2, 3, 4, 5? How many acquisitions people?
We're at one right now. That's all we usually need.
Just one.
Yeah. And it's not Zach. That's the key.
And it's not Zach. So we have marketing, we got acquisitions, and then we've got
transaction
right?
Transaction coordinators, because we need help sometimes, because we sometimes wholesale the properties. So I need
someone idle. Great way to do it.
Like that. And then we have dispositions, which, if we wholesale it, they get connected with the buyers, or if we wholesale it, bring it on the market and see what we got to do to get the best value out of it.
Very good. So do your dispositions and transaction coordinators, is that the same person or you got different people?
I mean, right now they're the same person.
Yeah.
I would have to switch them up. But right now, I mean, we're wholesaling some deals. So they're kind of doing it all at the same time.
And for those of you that are listening, when we say wholesale, that means we're actually buying the deal, taking it down, buying it, getting hard money, private money, your own cash, whatever it is, and then putting it back on the MLS, maybe do a little bit of cleanup to it, and then just letting the market go to work for you. That's what a wholesale is. So, okay, cool. Yeah, a relatively small operation, but doing really, really well, which is awesome. So, Zach, how did you get into this business, or what's your story?
Yeah. So just really quick before that, if you're more interested in that whole systems thing, a great book is Traction.
Yes.
Or that, or EOS. I really like that guy. We kind of based it off of that. So
Gino Wickman. Yeah.
Yeah. Great guy. So how I got started really was, like Rick said before, I wanted to get started in real estate, hated my job. And I'm kind of like, show me, like, hold my hand. Let's do this. And he's like, take these books and bring me a deal. And I'm like, what? Are you going to tell me how to market it or something like that? He's like, no, read the books and get me a deal. And I'm stuck with these two books. They're great books. One was about lease options and one was just about wholesaling.
What could you tell us what books those were? Do you know? Do you remember?
Well, they were from the early 2000s.
They were my old school books. One was Peter Conti.
I was gonna say Conti for the lease option.
Yeah, no, Conti was it. I love that book.
I literally think I have that. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, I get it.
Let's see if I have it here. I think it's at my home. Oh man, 2 books. Yeah, that's how I did it. I'll tell my story when he gets back.
So this one, maybe it's not the same one, but
that's it. Yeah, those.
Yeah.
It's one of the books that kind of really got me fired up about creative investing in real estate, and I don't know about you, but I thought it was a really simple book to read, and it opens your eyes to the possibilities in real estate.
Oh yeah, I mean, when I read this, I had no idea really what I was reading at the time, and I mean, this is from, let's see, this is from 2003, I think.
Yeah, that's right about when I got started. I actually met those guys in Atlanta, and it was they got a.
You know what I would do? I used to sit in
story.
Barnes and Noble. I wouldn't buy the book, but I would sit in Barnes and Noble on the floor and read the books. Right by the investing aisle.
It's a great book. It's a quick read. Yeah. Yeah, and that was one of them. I don't even remember what the other book was I gave you.
Yeah, you took those books and you went to work.
Yeah, so I looked at my options. I had about $500 to $600 in my bank account, so that's my marketing budget. I'm not.
Wow.
I'm not coming here saying
he had to pay for it. I wasn't going to pay for it.
That's cool.
Deal. So, I'm not going to say I had $0. And I started from, I had about 500, 600, and I knew direct mail is not in the budget for me. I can't do that. I'm not going to knock on 100 people's doors. I'm not doing that. The only thing I could really do was sweat equity and driving for dollars. So I went to work with bandit signs, and I kind of made that my life for the first month or two. So, very simple. We had actually know a sign guy. So Rick's good friends with the sign guy here locally in our town. And so I bought him for about $2 a sign, I believe, with the stake. It was a pretty good deal. And I just stuck him. So I was 17. I was in the summer before my senior year of high school. So Rick was with me when I was going up to high school wrestling tournaments. And so I'd do my wrestling tournament. When I was done, my dad was going to get lunch or whatever. I drove, stuck signs before and after my tournaments.
Wow.
And I didn't even realize the high schools. Apparently, the city I was in up north, the city by the high school, deals are just popping up everywhere by that high school. So I think I got a little bit of luck, a little bit of skill with the way I stuck them, but I just stuck them there. And we went back home. And the next day, I'm just getting crazy amount of calls.
Wow. From bandit signs.
Yeah. So when I was actually when I got started, I was on the wholesaling houses full time too when I was 17. And I don't know if we go all the way back there, but everything was about bandit signs are dead. Direct mail's king. Bandit signs are dead. Bandit signs are dead. I'm like, this is my only option here. So I thought I was going to waste gas driving around for dollars. So the first about week, I got a call in school. So I was in high school at the time. And so my first deal was actually in high school. I'm in my classroom, and you're not supposed to have your phones in school. Just stupid rule. And I get my
That's
first
a good rule.
yeah. So I get a ring, and I hear a ring, and I just peek at it, and I see it says bandit sign phone number. And I'm like, ooh, I got to get out of here. And so I got up. It was a college class too. So a little more flexibility because I was in college when I was 17 too. And the dude told me, he's like, are you going to answer that phone call? And I said, yeah. And he's like, get out. And he kicked me out. And then I go in the hallway, answer it. And that was my first deal. Dude had perfect motivation. You know, he had a rental. It went sideways and he had no money and he had to move up north. And I scheduled the time, drove up there. Rick kind of told me, you know, you got to go up there. Don't say the price first.
So you 17-year-old met with this man.
Yeah. I had Rick with me. He was kind of silent. He just wanted to make sure I didn't blow the deal.
Okay.
Make sure he didn't get killed either.
Yeah, seriously.
I knew it was a good deal from the motivation, and he knew it too. So he didn't want to throw like a $30,000, $40,000 deal down the toilet just in the act of learning. So he went with me. He told me, you got to say this. And so I went there, looked at the house. I didn't even know what a frame or CBS house was. The book didn't say anything about it.
Yeah.
And so I looked at this estimate, you know, stupid stuff like that. And I'm like, I mean, I think this house is worth 100, 110. So it had my number one cardinal sin right now, which is an enclosed garage that was not permitted. I didn't know that. I'm in there talking to the dude, and we get down to the negotiation. And the only thing I remember is don't say the price first. I'm like, so how much do you need for the house? And he said, knowing the house is worth about 90 to wholesale, 80 to wholesale, he says, can you do 60?
Wow.
And I'm just like, is that a deal or not? And then my dad kicks me. Okay, that's gotta be good. And then, you know, I just say 50 or whatever, and then meet in the middle, and we got signed for 55 that day.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, that's one thing that's amazing. So at that price, right? When somebody gives you a price that's like really good, you don't want to jump on it right away, right? Because then they're going to feel like they could have got more. So you've got to put that friction in there, you know, is what we call it. There's got to be some kind of friction. There's got to be some kind of something like, you know, and here's the thing too, right? I guess you could call it the pre-lockdown, if you will, right? So if they give you a number and it's good, right? Or even if it's bad, like even if you're over the phone or whatever, say, well, so what you're telling me is you want X, right? So you want 60. Man, I'm not sure if I could do that, but let me see what I could do. But are you telling me that if we could do 60 today, then we've got a deal, you're ready to do paperwork and all that stuff, right? So that's a pre-lockdown to whether, you know, if you're on the phone going out there, or if you're even out there in person, you could go out there and say, so man, I'm not sure if I could do that, but you're telling me if I can, then we've got a deal today and you're ready to get this done, you know? So that way you don't go, yes, I want the deal. Let's go. Let's sign. Let's go. And then they start going, oh, wait. No. I got to think about it. My brother's a realtor and my uncle is a lawyer and I got to go talk to them. So you got to be careful. So you handled that really well.
I did. Starting out, if I knew that before, I didn't even ask what he needed for the price. I just knew it was a good motivation. It was so in the beginning of my stages, I had no idea. And that I felt like it was threw on my lap. I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, can I quit Publix now? Because it was like a $40,000 deal. And I'm like, I can quit. That's how much man is like, can I quit? And he's just like, you got to do 2 more deals before you can quit. No, you're stupid.
You got to make $100,000 before you can quit Publix.
Yeah. So I was kind of like, okay. So
how did you like bagging when you went back there? You're like bagging for whatever hourly, and you're like, man, I just made 30 grand. You're like,
Eggs got broken everywhere.
What's that?
Eggs got broken everywhere.
Oh man.
So, and then I got some money from that deal. So we got the money there, and I'm like, I'm going to triple down on those bandit signs. So I went from 1 city to 3, still going to my wrestling tournament, sticking them before and after. Sometimes during like a lunch break or whatever, I'll stick some out. And I can go on my first other deals, but 2 deals later, I walk in there, quit. So I was getting about a deal or 2 a month. So after month 2, I was at 3 or 4. This was 2 years ago, and I quit. It was great. So I still have.
That's awesome.
I still have a resignation paper in my my room.
Let me ask you this: how much of that deal did Daddy Rick let you keep?
I still have my first check. I think it was somewhere between 10 to 15%. I think.
Okay. So he told you how to do it.
Yeah. So for clarification, he went out and did the hard part, which is getting the deal. So he wanted to do bandit signs. I made him pay for it, and then I gave him a script, and I said, "Sit there and rehearse with me." Because no, I got it licked. And next thing you see him running through the house, people screaming at him. But like he hung in there and did it. I didn't do it for him. I said the hardest part is just to find. If you can find a good deal, the money's always there. Now I've been doing this 15 years, guys, but I'm just telling you, I made him pay for his own marketing budget, do everything. I would reimburse him on it, and then we graduated to the point. Now Zach could easily do a deal on his own and fund it now.
Yeah.
But so he decided to kind of join my team. I had a team before Zach. We have issues like everybody else does, and the business. And I'll let you in a little secret. He's better. I didn't figure it out till I was 33, 35. I quit my corporate job at 35. He quit his part-time grocery store at 17. So we just turned the learning curve up.
Absolutely.
And so might do that. You can have these conversations. We've had one of the most difficult universities in the state of Florida on a full scholarship. They actually pay him to go, and I get as fast as you can. They will not be the 4 years of your life. And then number 2, no debt. You cannot accrue debt. It doesn't work because you will not get an ROI on it. And he listened to it, and he got through it a little fast. And here he is. So he's coming out of college with not a job, an opportunity. And his mother says I couldn't give him the official COO title until he had his degree.
Okay.
Make more money than he'd be independently because we are doing deals. And Zach won't share this. He's almost proud of us, working with the staff and the stuff. I don't spend as much time doing that because I'm kind of off doing other things. And I wanted to kind of share the journey of 17 to 19. And Zach just bought a house down with the acquisition guy last week. How old was that guy? 70 what?
Oh yeah, he was 72. I go by myself, dude.
Okay, so he's 72, training an acquisitions guy.
A 72-year-old acquisitions guy. Wow, that's amazing.
And Zach, just like he goes, I'll get through it. And Zach he'll be honest with you. When he was my acquisition manager for a short time there, he got a lot of resistance from people. But I taught him, I go, your age is not an obstacle, it's an asset.
Yes.
And show them what you know. And once you demonstrate you're really confident and you can help people out, the age just, it goes by the wayside. So anybody that you know, in your site there saying, yeah, I'm only 17, I'm only 18, I'm only 16, honestly, it doesn't matter. I had to wait till Zach could legally get on the corporate paperwork to be able to sign the contracts.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so every state's a little bit different, but, you know, it's 18 in the state of Florida, so we had to wait for that. So it's just, to be honest with you, like, Rick, where have you been? I've taken the last 2 years, and honestly, I think I've created my ultimate masterpiece, because now, man, Zach will tell you, my wife will tell you, I have a ton of time. And don't overly share that with my wife, because I have a ton of time. So we're doing things like shopping and stuff. Like, I love to fish. Everybody knows me. And, yeah, I'm going to go back and put some products I use in my business to help people out. And the cool thing is Zach gets to implement them. We're having a blast in what we do. And as you know, we're in a highly competitive market here in South Florida.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
okay. So, yeah. So you did your first deal. And then from there, like you said, as he got older and everything, you were able to put him on the corporate paperwork so he could sign the contracts and all that kind of stuff. And it's pretty much been hands off for you, which is absolutely amazing. So Zach, I mean, what would you say? I mean, somebody going out and doing bandit signs is one thing, right? But you guys have something that you call your priority probate system, right? So if somebody wanted to start working with the probates, and the whole idea behind the probates, right, is getting to them before all the data aggregators get to them, right?
Yeah.
So give us some tips about that, about working with probate leads. And are you seeing consistent deals from probates, or is it a here and there kind of thing? Or what's your marketing to probates kind of look like along those lines?
Yeah, definitely. So I'll give you a quick background. So we bought a probate deal last month that we wholetailed. So I just it was local. So I just should drive there really quick and just put a lockbox on there, because acquisition guy got a contract. Check the mailbox. The dude died like 3 months ago.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, whoa. We got like 5 realtors, 5 investors, 5 direct mail postcards. It's just filled up. And
yes.
I'm like, Jesus. And I was the first person to actually have my name in front of them, the person, the PR that went to the house and saw it and called.
Okay. And you actually called this person?
No, they called from direct mail.
Oh, you hit them with direct mail? Well,
it's a direct mail probate. So it's in our PPS system. So
right.
Every investor does that now. A different thing we found out was there's investors just sending 5 things of mail now, and they're coming to our market, and we were faced with that problem. And I found a way to actually go get in front of the probate, talk to the person in person a week before the mail even comes out. So usually when you pull the probate, it takes about a week to, like once you get the probate, you put in the mail, send it out, it takes a week. I found a way to specifically cold call that person with other people on a specific list to actually talk to them and get the deal before anyone's mail even reaches them.
Okay. So you're talking about when a certain document comes out in the courthouse, that you're pulling them off that? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. So meaning you're getting to the courthouse before all the other investors are getting this data that they're buying from an aggregator or something. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah. So
okay.
So courthouse knows me pretty well. from my earlier days, just going there all the time. So they know me pretty well. They give me all the information I need. But I kind of shift that over to our data person. So the relationships with her now. So I found a way from my cold calling days to start cold calling on more specific things and switching scripts up. So the thing is, we actually did that also with our direct mail. Also, when we got the cold calling, more of the specifics. So when we have the probate mail, and sometimes we're a little slower, when we cold call them, they actually can connect that piece of mail to the person that called them.
Okay.
If there's a from acquisitions guy, his name John. If they got a mail from John and they're like, oh shoot, that's the guy that talked to me over the phone. I trust this guy, and there's 4 other pieces of mail. They're going to call us first because we're friendlier. We have a connection. We're both from New York, something like that. And he'll like that, and he'll call us before the other 4 people.
Right.
So that kind of makes us different in our market than the 5 to 6 other people doing the mail.
Okay. So the cold calling aspect to it, plus the mail, is what connects it.
Yeah, it's a great connection. It helps when there's 5 other, and there's just so much competition.
Yeah. You definitely have to get to it before that.
And Alex, just to let you know, so I launched PPS, which was my exact probate system. I think it was 4 years ago. And
yeah, I think I remember that.
I still think I have your link. I haven't really shared this with a lot of people, but I think
it was probatealex.com. I think that's what you put it together.
I'll send you the link, and you can put it on here. Is we're releasing PPS 2.0. We're just adding some information. Basically, we're taking the last 4 years of everything we learned, and just as you know, as technology's improved, and we have real data. And so the secret is why I get the probates before anyone else, because honestly, having Zach and my staff, it does take effort. It does take work. But the number one thing, if you guys are doing probates, it's consistency. If you consistently do it, I've been doing it, I'm going on 5 years. They are my best deals. So I'll share that link with you when it comes up. I'll actually make it available first on your site. It's just an updated version. It's really cool. And Zach specifically teaches what he just showed you. It's a little bit more involved, step by step, really inexpensive product. And I only use stuff I use in my business. So we'll share that in a little bit more detail, and I'll make that link available too. I think Zach has a link for your audience members. What did you create, Zach?
Yeah, so when I started out, my first year, I had to get a little grasp. I was still new. I kind of created a little ebook just specifically for 16, 17, 18-year-olds, just to show them kind of how I got it, put it in super, super simple. Because when I read those like lease option books, I was just like hit like a train. I'm like, what? So I created a thing on kind of someone who doesn't have a high budget, a lot of sweat equity, driving for dollars and bandit signs, the stuff that really got me into it. So I was selling that for like $100, and we sold a lot. I've actually got a lot of messages from people. I've really helped them get some great deals, some of the younger people. And that was about a year and a half ago. So what I want to do is just provide that same ebook for free. It's like 42 pages. Should be like a quick read for a day. So if you go to alexfreegift.com, ALEXFREEGIFT.com, you just put your name and your email in there, and you just download that free ebook.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, the training, you go ahead.
Yeah, and so like one of the things I've learned is, I made him document his process so he could always remember how he did it. And then I get so many people like, Rick, how do I get my kids involved? And I'll tell you, everyone, and I'll tell you this for your own kids, just engage a conversation that involves real estate. Don't sit there and go, I'm going to tell you all about real estate. It doesn't work that way. Zach came to me, and he's like, man, I see these guys going to work, these guys going to college, go to college. But I told them, get through college, no debt, and do it. And so the book is just, it's a pages is it, Zach?
42.
42 pages, like step by step. He wrote it. I didn't edit it. It's straightforward, and I try to share it with. We actually sell it, but I said, honestly, this is my gift to. If I have close friends and they're trying to teach their kid, I'm like, man, this solves a problem, and it's really cool. And it will, at worst, and they go, how do you do it? But like, I think a lot of times, Alex, we all kind of disguise is we do work in this business. It's not always as sexy. And if you can teach your kid that you work through it, I don't care what they do, they're going to be successful. And so I didn't put a silver spoon in his mouth. I made him I think I made it tougher on him on his first 3 deals than I'd make on any acquisition manager or any JV partner I've ever worked with. So that's what I've been doing the last 2 years. It's honestly by far the most rewarding thing I've ever done. And now I'm freed up to do like I don't know, man.
You have the gift of time. That's amazing. Yeah,
and I wish I found it earlier.
That's awesome to see a father team set up like that. And you guys definitely check out that are listening. Check out the book that he's talking about. Somebody asked what the PPS is, and that's the priority probate system that Rick has, and we'll provide you a link here for you guys if you're interested in that. But one thing I wanted to also emphasize here is the ability, that Rick trained his son and gave him step-by-step information on how to go about doing the business, and he actually held his hand and he implemented it, right? So
Correct.
Education is definitely important in this business. So
yes, definitely.
Go ahead.
So and Zach has pointed him to go to Alex's site. It's got great information. There's plenty of feedback, and he'd be in it for like hours. And so, downloading a free ebook, having your kid review a site. Man, I love video because it's kind of spoon-fed to you. So just want to get started and engage somebody, a family member especially, this is the best way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you guys can check that out, you can check out the link that we're going to put there for the priority probate system as well. I appreciate both of you guys being on here. You guys also, if you're looking just to get started in the business, I've got an accelerator program that you guys can jump into. We'll post a link for that as well. And we'll schedule a time to see if it's a fit in working with us in our accelerator program, in which we take you from zero all the way to the point of getting a deal. We have our own little marketing tactics and things like that we pride ourselves on, that we give our students. And a lot of times they end up running into probate deals without marketing for probate deals, which is pretty awesome. So do you guys have any questions here for Rick or Zach? We'll hang around for a little bit with regards to that, but we're going to jump off here soon. We've been on here about an hour. Wow, time flies.
Yeah, it does.
So if you guys have any questions for Rick or Zach, we are here for you to answer that for you. So Matt had asked, what was the PPS? That's the priority probate system that Rick has, which shows you how he goes about getting probates before they even, as soon as they're hot off the press. So showing you how to do that. And let's see what else. My wife said 9 more years. Hopefully we'll be there. Yes, that would absolutely be awesome.
You can definitely cut the 9 years. You can cut the 9 years down, man. I'm telling you, age is
he's 10 years old. My oldest is 10 years old right now. He's like, Daddy, I want to work for you. I want to work for you.
You see, so I've set the bar at 7 to chop it down to 14. It's
yeah.
it's a really cool business. To think back in 2003 and 4, I would be in the position I am now. Man, I can tell you, I kind of kid around with Zach. I haven't set an alarm clock other than to go fishing in 15 years.
Oh, you're just showing off now, man.
I just like honestly, up and I do my routine and and you don't always need this big giant staff to run a business. I mean, it's
No,
I don't share my numbers publicly, but I got to tell you, man, it's amazing because I still think we're proportionate in our marketing budget because, as you know, the more you spend on marketing, you've got to have processes and
you
systems
definitely
in place.
do, or else you're wasting money because you're not processing it.
Yeah,
See, David
so.
said just logged on now, but not sure if you addressed this already. But what is the best lead generating source?
I mean, the best bang for your buck, in my opinion, still is bandit signs. I think per month we spend $100 and we get a deal from that.
$100. Yes. $100 and a little bit of labor, right?
That's bang for your buck. But if you want consistency, the mail, it never ceases not to get a deal from the mail every month.
Yeah, I mean, we spend, but like honestly, it's not an expense. It's an investment. But keep in mind, guys, I've been doing this a long time. I'm not telling you to just jump in and do direct mail.
How many pieces are you mailing a month?
Zach,
yeah, Zach. Well, how many pieces are you mailing a month?
It's definitely. I think we're at the 15,000 plus.
15,000 pieces.
And honestly, I would do 50,000 if we could manage it and keep the numbers consistent because I've done the big numbers and it's your deficiencies can come out quickly.
Oh, and you scale your problems. That's a problem.
Yeah. And so, keep in mind, I have a very competitive market. I've got a bunch of wholesalers in my area, and honestly, I got Tom Kroll. I've got Ugly House Buyers. All these guys have been around, and we rarely step on each other's toes. So we focus on what works for us. I don't care what the competition does. It's pointless. So if you guys are worrying about competition, you're worrying about the wrong thing. We're extremely consistent in our process. When we engage a customer, they're ours. Like we don't let anybody beat us out to it. So it's a little tidbit for you there. Just stop worrying about what your competition does. But
what Matt says, what is
you can get all the leads you want.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, one thing I love about probates is they're always new every month. So if you mess up one, they're always new opportunity. What is the?
So, go ahead.
I was going to say, Matt says, what is one thing that took you to the next level? And I guess that maybe either or of you can answer that.
Yeah.
I'll let Zach go first.
Yeah. So one thing that took me to the next level, especially with some of our more marketing stuff, I think marketing's the best thing. I mean, acquisition's great, but if they got no leads, there's no point. So I went in a really deep dive with the numbers. I started tweaking our direct mail and bandit signs. I switched from the white signs, white on like a blue, to a yellow and black, and that increased our calls by twice.
Wow. Yellow and black did better than white and blue. Nice.
Yeah.
You found that out. I didn't.
Awesome.
And then, I looked at the numbers deep. I'm like, this city is very well. This city, I never get calls on, no deals. And then I'm going harder on this there. And then with direct mail, we've increased our call rate from about 1.5 to like 2.5 from just tweaking colors and the wording and everything like that. So it's doubled the amount of people that get in. And if that creates 1 to 2 more deals, it's just the next level.
Are you guys seeing a 2.5% response rate on your mail?
With the new one we did, yes.
What was your new one? What did you do?
It's funny because with me having extra time, I don't know if you remember, Alex. I think we originally met. I created that handwritten. Do you remember the handwritten postcard?
Yes.
Yeah. That was out of my frustration of like, why are we spending all this money on these letters? And it's like, and so I did it, and I got kind of laughed out. And then I remember showing my direct mail campaign, you're going to laugh at this. I'd send out 600 or 700 postcards I did in my house, and I was getting such an astronomical response rate. And it was like, I mean, it was insane. It was like in the 20%. And then I showed how much money I made on it. And then I go, what if I could do 1,000? Bottom line is I developed a system, really had no idea what I was doing. And I sold that handwritten postcard, and it got wildly successful. I think one of the problems is we all like to copy other people's systems, which I'm a firm believer in.
Sure,
I don't want
sure.
to reinvent the wheel. But there is a point of saturation, which we all see.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm guilty of it because I did it with the handwritten. I created the saturation with my own handwritten postcard system. So with Zach running the business, I can go back and do some crazy test marketing. And so we found like a little secret, and I'll be sharing it with you shortly. I don't know how long. Yeah, and I don't know how long it's going to last. So I'm constantly, listen, use what works, but don't be scared to go a little bit outside the box and do like a test piece, because that's what created all these funky postcards. Think about it. It's
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah, so it's we're trying some very, very different things. And I'll be honest with you, some of it flat out fails.
Of course.
That's
yeah.
my job, though. It's like if I do 5 things and one's successful, Zach runs with it in the press the gas until it runs out of gas.
Right.
The last year and a half, I kind of took my foot off that pedal, and we're kind of refocusing on that. Anything that you can get to engage a customer to call you that's ethical and legal, do it. Like, don't, but like I've learned what not to do. I did some of those scare postcards, and I'll never do that again. I mean, that phone.
What do you mean,
up.
like termination notice?
Yeah. Well, we've been trying to contact you. It's urgent you contact us immediately, and your phone will blow up. But it's careful.
Your house might too.
So it's like I've just kind of, as you do it after a while, do that. But as far as what catapulted me, honestly, just learning to invest in yourself. And remember, investing your money. Money will make it faster for you. But, reading books, I'm a big podcast guy, watching videos, and just invest yourself. Take some time out and see what you truly want to accomplish in this business, and see if the business will give you the lifestyle that you want to accomplish. And if it is, it's fun. And if it's not a good fit, then that's when most people have problems. You can't just do it for money. I did this for time.
Yeah.
I get time back. Time's more precious than money to me. Especially
time is absolutely
I'm approaching the big 5-0. So it's
time is everything. Time is everything. If you make all the money in the world but you got no time, well, then you got a problem, right? So you got to find you got to find that balance to where you can buy your time back. It's all about lifestyle design.
Yeah. So I hustled, and now Zach, he has what I call a focused hustle grind. So I'm all about, like, all I knew how to do was hustle when I started. Now there's enough tools and enough knowledge out there where you don't have to, like, I'm all about the hustler, and you prove it, but then you got to turn it into a business, and that's when the real maturity comes forward.
Absolutely. All right, guys, we have been over an hour now, so I appreciate y'all's time. I appreciate everybody's time that's signed on to watch here. We'll post those links that you're talking about, and people can check those out if they want to. So I appreciate you guys coming on. This is pretty awesome. We got a father and son team. That's not something that you see very often in this business. So appreciate you guys' time.
Hey, thank you again. I appreciate the time, Alex.
No problem. Take care, guys.
Okay, buddy. Thank you.